Okay, next we'll want to talk about the two different types of cartilage growth. So the first type is going to be appositional. What is appositional? So this is where our perichondrium, that dense irregular tissue, that's this connective tissue wrapper around our cartilage, the perichondrium is going to secrete a matrix. And let's review what a matrix is. So perichondrium secretes a matrix. Okay, so this is right beneath this perichondrium. You're going to have these chondrocytes. And it's this interaction between the perichondrium and the chondrocytes secreting this matrix. Chondrocytes are your cartilage cells, so these are going to make cartilage, but to get to cartilage you have to have this matrix first, and then you add some things to get it to cartilage. So it's this interaction of these chondrocytes beneath the perichondrium to get this secretion of this matrix, and this matrix is then going to become cartilage. So let's get a picture going. So if I have this layer of cartilage, I've got chondrocytes all over the place. And then surrounding that I have this perichondrium. This connective tissue layer. So these chondrocytes, and I think before I said it's this perichondrium secreting matrix because that's what it's wrote here. It's these chondrocytes that are right beneath the perichondrium secreting this matrix. So all these blue circles here are these chondrocytes, these cartilage producing cells, and they're going to secrete matrix. So if you remember when we talked about connective tissue, we talked about these things called structural elements that are common to all connective tissue. One is the ground substance. One is fibers, and then the last part is cells. So when we talked about ground substance, that's made up of two things, this background fluid as well as proteoglycans. And I'll draw that picture really quickly just because you want to get a sense of all this stuff working together. So that's a proteoglycan, that's the protein core with these carbohydrate extensions. And if I drew another one like this helps mesh and weave things together. So I got these proteoglycans and then this background fluid. This is my ground substance. And then I'd add some fibers like this. And then if I drew in some cells, these cells, this is going to be connective tissue. But if I take out these cells and I just talk about this background fluid, these proteoglycans, and these fibers, these things, when we talk about ground substance plus fibers, this is going to equal the extracellular matrix. So when we're talking about secretion of matrix, we're talking about secretion of fibers, fluids, and these proteoglycans. So get in your head now, because when we talk about formation of bones, we'll talk about matrix a lot, and this is what we're talking about, this precursor stuff to all these different connective tissues that we're making, including bone. So cartilage growth, appositional growth, these chondrocytes beneath the perichondrium is secreting this matrix. And what is this matrix? It's this ground substance and these fibers, and then this will differentiate into cartilage. So we'll grow our cartilage out a little bit, and then our perichondrium will be pushed farther out. Alright, appositional growth. Then we have interstitial growth. So with interstitial growth, that's these chondrocytes in the middle. can say within the cartilage tissue. These are going to divide and secrete matrix. That will then differentiate into that cartilage. Sweet, so this is how we're getting our cartilage. And if you remember, we have this term from lab. These cartilage cells, these chondrocytes are, sorry, not there, here. These chondrocytes are housed in these things called lacunae. So these lacunae and these chondrocytes are dividing, and we're getting this secretion of matrix. We typically grow cartilage up until adolescence, and we'll see how hormones affect that later on.